morning. I can't believe I'm going live here on I'm not Instagram. God damn. YouTube. I just want to thank everybody who has been looking at my videos, my few little videos. Thank you for commenting. But like lately, I've been working on trying to get this EEOC document reopened and relooked at. Last year, I was fired for whistleblowing at a local hospital here in St. Petersburg, Florida. April the 18th, I have over 26 documents that nurses, mainly nurses, and 3 doctors had written about me. No, let's say, yeah, 3 doctors and 1 midwife. I'm so thankful that what happened to these 2 black women in Texas and in Indiana has happened. Black nurses in L&D, labor and delivery, we don't have the pleasure to do what our white counterparts or our non-black sisters of color. I'm not even gonna call their ass sisters. And you know the sad part? Black nurses will help the white nurse and the non-black nurse of color do your ass in. You know why black women and babies are dying and being injured? It's because people are afraid to talk. No one wants to get retaliated against. No one wants to get blackballed like me. No one wants to get written up, fired. But black women are dying because nurses are not reporting what's really going on in these hospitals. Hospitals have deep pockets. Hospitals have good lawyers that they are able to hire to lie. The hospital I was working at, the lawyers got information from the EAP program that I was mandated to take by my black director. And when I took the counseling through the hospital, they were told that I was told that everything that I said in there would be private unless I'm threatening to hurt myself or others. You know, these counselors told the attorneys what I said in my private counseling session after a fetal demise, after a reportable sentinel event that happened at the hospital. And they had the nerve to put it in the position statement at EEOC. The EEOC actually gave me the right to sue, but how he wrote it up, he did not do me any justice. All the exhibit from A to E that the attorneys had put, exhibits, they put it confidential. So I could not get a copy of those records until I filed for my FOIA document after the case was closed. I didn't find out they violated my HIPAA rights until early part of this month when I was just going back through my files. And this is why black women and children die in labor and delivery in the hospitals, because of the white nurses. Labor and delivery is a predominantly white space. And when you see black women in there, trust me, we catch hell. We catch hell. I got over 26 write-ups. And all the write-ups were mainly by white nurses, 1 black nurse, the director who was black, and the Haitian doctor and the Haitian nurse. 4 black people out of 26 write-ups. And the sad part about it, I was not given a fair chance to rebut what the nurse said. During Black History Month, a white nurse hung this up in the department. You think that's appropriate? This is what she made at the top. This is the heart that she put on the med room during Black History Month, aka Valentine's Day. Do it not look like that? That's how I saw it. It looked just like this minstrel. This is the stuff that I was going through at this hospital here in Florida. They said that I was arrogant. They said that I was confrontational. They said a lot of things about me. And you know, I've been a labor and delivery nurse for 18 years, and at the time it was 16. Well, that's what they did. So I'm in the process of trying to get this case reopened. And you know, a lot of people, they also attack my religion. So I used to wear an evil eye around my neck. And lots of crystals. I love my crystals, still do. The assistant manager wrote in an email a complaint saying that they feared that I was going to do something spiritual to them. Because they went on my TikTok page. I have a TikTok page that's called Conjure Woman. So y'all go subscribe to my TikTok so I can start going live on TikTok. I also did a video about what was going on at this hospital. I've been doing this 18 years and I have never, ever, 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 ever experienced anything like this in my whole career. A white nurse in the nurse's station cursed me out. Why the fuck you ain't make your own birthing table? You're such a crude. And then when she wrote what happened, she never mentioned anything that she cussed me out at all. Had I cussed that white woman out, I would have been fired. I had one attorney. The hospital attorneys wrote an 8-page position statement. 8 pages. When I tell you, I took my time and I rebutted every fucking thing I could. I came with fucking receipts. I did. After 91 pages, I'm here trying to organize them. After 91 pages, the attorney told me, he said, the employment attorney, he said, I've never seen anyone rebuttal a position statement. I said, you couldn't have told me I went Perry fucking Mason. I was so hurt. My blood pressure was 190 over 112. I really went through a lot at that hospital. When I interviewed August the 2nd, 2022. I was interviewing for the assistant nurse manager's position. And I did not know that the director was a black woman. Now, I'm from St. Petersburg. The hospital I'm talking about, my mom had me there. I had my daughter there 28 years ago. So this is a community hospital. So when I graduated nursing school from St. Petersburg College in 2006, I was working at this hospital as a graduate nurse. Well, they said I wasn't fit for the team for the graduate nurse, but I was working as a tech and I was an LPN because in 2005, I ended up challenging the LPN board and passed. So I was working on the floor and that same white nurse that drew this derogatory picture in the department still worked there. So as the director was walking me around the unit, you know, they'll bring you around the unit to introduce you to everybody. No one said hello, welcome. When I tell you them white nurses and them non-black nurses was looking at me like, oh boy, here come another fucking nigga. This woman hiring all these niggas up in here. This is the blackest I've seen this hospital, this department. I've been a labor and delivery nurse straight out of nursing school. I started off in Harlem Hospital. That's where I got all my training from, first 4 years. But for what these patients has gone through, when that young lady was in triage, anybody know when you have a laboring patient, an active laboring patient coming through the ER, they bypass everybody and go straight to L&D. What that white girl did to that patient was an abomination. She need her license revoked. She need to be fined, and she need to never work again, and she need to be reported to the Board of Nursing in Texas. This is why black women are dying. And did you see her body language? This is what I was reporting down at this hospital. We had a young lady. She was a G3. Gravida means how many times you've been pregnant. A G3P2, young girl. Already had 2 kids. They were back to back. And it's a black girl. And she came in, because I worked night shift. Of course, she came in at old dark 30, homeless, and with her 2 babies, and she was having preterm labor. She was like in her early 20 weeks pregnant, and within the 20 week window. So our charge nurse, the white Ukraine woman, was trying to get her discharged because wasn't nothing wrong with her. She just needs somewhere to stay. This is what they do to black patients. So I'm just sitting in the nurse's station, just listening, getting my evidence to write her ass up. And I did. The girl kept saying, I'm having contractions. I'm having lower abdominal pain. I'm having lower abdominal pain. Now, when you have babies back to back, you put yourself at risk for preterm labor. You don't give your body time to bounce back, to heal. So they discharged the patient. They did a FFN, which is called a fetal fibronectin. It's a test that we swab the vagina to see if you're going to deliver within 14 days. And it's pretty accurate, but you cannot have had sex within 24 hours. Or this test would be a false positive. They end up having to call the young lady back to the hospital because of this nurse was adamantly about her going home, and then she in the nurse's station amongst all the nurses, me including my black self. Oh, some people just shouldn't have babies. So when I roll her ass up, I mentioned Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood. She feel that black people should be exterminated like weeds. And this is why black women die having our babies, because of racist white women. They're all in A1. They on ACOG. They end up in NCC website. When you go into these hospitals, look at the pictures on the walls. Look how they, show who they're for. You may see a black mom and a black baby, no father, but you'll see a white woman, father, baby. Even if you do see a black man, he with a non-black woman. Malcolm X said, whoever controls the image controls the mind. So this is why we're dying. We know exactly what's going on, but in order to change, we have to start exposing. We have to start getting to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem why black women are dying is because it's vicious as white women, the old ones and the new ones. I'm telling you, I done worked as a travel nurse in California from the top to the fucking bottom. I done worked as a travel nurse and a staff nurse in Atlanta, Georgia. I done worked as a staff nurse in New York. I done worked at the most prestigious hospitals. But when black women, black nurses advocate for their patients, we are accused of being confrontational, arrogant. Like I said in my rebuttal to that attorney, when they called me arrogant and confrontational, I said, that's like calling me a uppity Negro. See, I have a daughter. I had a baby. Why wouldn't I be concerned that black women are the highest, 3 to 4 times more likely to die having our babies? And you know what I've heard and what I've read? We're considered what? First world country? The American dream? Do you know women in Africa and in the Caribbean and the third world countries, their birth rates are not as deadly as ours. So what's the problem? White providers. White providers to black women are like polices to black men, white polices to black men. This is the thing. We don't want to have this conversation. We don't want to talk about the truth. I don't want to hear that shit about black on black crime and black people do it to themselves, because we never talk about white people and they shit in their community. People kill where they live. You go to China, who committing crime over there? A Chinese man or a woman. You go to fucking Jamaica, who committing crime over there? A fucking Jamaican man or a woman. You go to Africa, no matter what country in Africa, one of them Africans is committing crimes over there. You go to the trailer park, who committing crime in there? Ain't no black folks going to the trailer park committing they ain't gonna crime. When I was in nursing school, learning about all these diseases, black people, we had every fucking thing. High blood pressure, high end cancer, high end this, high end that. All this money we got, why we can't have universal insurance or free medical? There we go. Free medical. You know why we don't have free medical? Because white folks scared black folks gonna get healthy. I thought we were all God's children. I thought we were all human. I'm just not understanding. Thank you, Spirit. It was a Hispanic nurse at this job here in St. Petersburg, Florida. She tells me, well, I don't know how it feels to be a black woman and what you guys, but I knew how it felt when them ICE was coming and taking them damn Hispanic babies and kids from y'all, separating the family. So you don't understand that. But you know how to pass the NCLEX to become a nurse. But you don't know the culturally sensitive stuff. Common sense stuff. But I thought we were supposed to be human. I thought we were all God's children. Until it come to color. How come me being a black nurse can't go in the patient room and treat that white patient or that non-black patient the way them white nurses treat black women? And don't let that white girl have a black baby daddy. Serena Williams. See, Serena had money, and you think we dying because we're uneducated? You think we dying because we don't have no money? They almost killed Serena Williams, and she came in there with a history of pulmonary embolisms, blood clots in the lungs. And she's a wealthy woman. Her husband is a wealthy man. And that still did not stop them from trying to kill her ass, trying to chop it up to, it's just the medication she on. She had to demand a MRI and to be placed on blood thinners. And it was found that she did have fucking blood clots in her lungs after her C-section. So what is the problem? Why are black women dying having our babies? White providers and black providers, meaning nurses and doctors, afraid to tell on those people. Ever since this situation came out with these two black ladies, you see all these little white nurses in their little cute uniforms and sitting up and, my patients, you're fucking lying. You're fucking lying. You're lying. I'm sitting here trying to organize a whole fucking 392-page document that I had reported about this job. And they blackballed me. That Haitian doctor, he said that he was going to tell his co-workers who, take call for him, not to allow me to take care of their patients. Now, I've never had a problem before, but what happened was I was taking care of this Hispanic patient, and at change of shift, I worked night shift, and I was getting ready to take over her. And she was having some deep variable D cells, which means cord compression. And then she was having some prolonged D cells, which means a normal baby heart rate is anywhere from 110 beats a minute to 160 between the gray lines. And this allowed to fluctuate. We look at the variability. The variability let us know how much oxygenation, if the baby is well oxygenated. But how long this baby gonna last having these prolonged D cells and these deep variable D cells? Well, I was trying to get him to come in because my spider senses was tingling. And you know what I'm saying? I think Trevor, what's the black dude name? Trevor said something. He said black women can't afford to fuck around and find out. We don't have that privilege to fuck around and find out. Because by the time we fuck around and find out, it's too fucking late. So everything I said that was going to happen, happened. The midwife fired me from taking care of that patient because I was asking the charge nurse, who was another Hispanic woman. The midwife was a white old woman. And she fired me, and they changed the assignment and gave her to another black nurse. I wrote in the document, said, yeah, they should have gave her that patient from the beginning. We got a lot of black docile nurses that's afraid to speak up. I guess she didn't want to, not be able to afford her Jaguar. I love my Ford Flex truck. It's paid off. But my thing is, when black nurses sit back and don't say a fuck thing, black women die. And it's not until your fucking baby, your fucking family member, or your best friend get caught in the crossfire. So back to this doctor. So they changed the assignment. Now, my shift is from 7A to 7P. I gave handoff at, I believe, 7:18. So the black nurse that took the patient over, I ended up taking her patient, which was a TOLAC, which is a trial of labor after cesarean. And lo and behold, we sitting up doing the epidural with my new patient in labor room 10. I hear this voice say, look up that tracing. I look at the tracing. I done already told the CRNA who was doing the epidural, room 1. So as soon as I said, her vocera go off. We're going to be rushing stat C-section to room 1 to the back. That's the same patient I was trying to advocate for. And this is a Hispanic girl. It was a Hispanic girl with a Haitian doctor, a white midwife. But here come me. And that day I had on and it was Black History Month. So I had on my Rosa Parks shirt with, was it 1955 on it? So they get her to the OR. Now, she already had internal fetal monitors in, which was the IUPC, which monitors the contractions. With the monitors on the inside, it gives us accuracy of what's going on, how strong the contractions are, millimeters per mercury, as well as the duration. The monitor that's on the outside, the contraction, although it may look tall and big, it just lets us know the frequency and the duration. The pressure catheter lets us know the pressure, how strong the contractions is more accurate. Then the clip we put on the baby head, the fetal scalp electrode, gives us beat-to-beat variability, lets us know that that's baby heart rate, that's mom heart rate. By the time they got that young lady to the OR, heart tones had came up, thank God. But they had to wait 10 minutes for the Haitian doctor to come. But had he came when I called him, so this guy wrote a complaint about me saying I shouldn't be working at this hospital. He don't want me taking care of his patients. I've never had any issue with any provider there except for another resident. I started writing this document August the 28th, 2023. This is 12 pages. The other page I didn't print out because it's pictures. 12 pages with a complaint. See, me being a legal nurse consultant, well, I was certified through the Vicky Malazzo Institute. And I did my first case out of Broward County, and I won. I was staying in an extended stay in Georgia, and I did that fucking case, and we won. So when I write a complaint, I write a fucking complaint, and I give times, because see, in my first write-up on August the 16th, 2023, I was accused of being complicit, being all these things. When I tell you these white nurses, we had a patient that came now, they let that girl sit in that fucking lobby for 42 minutes at change of shift because nobody wanted to admit her into antepartum. But I'm getting on the elevator, a white nurse getting off. I'm like, oh shit. Anybody in the medical field see nurses leaving early, staff leaving early, you know it's a smooth day. Wrong. The nurse they allowed to leave early, why didn't she take that young lady to antepartum and start her admission? By this time, by the time we got that lady on that monitor, her baby was dead. That's a reportable sentinel event that you have to report to JACO, the Joint Commission. And they didn't like me reporting. I didn't like to have to report it. But I know if I didn't do anything that I can be held liable. Nurses and teachers and polices, we are mandated reporters of abuse. They teach us in nursing school, if it's not chartered, it's not done. They teach us in nursing school to advocate for patients. I spent the whole fucking week in orientation at this facility, learning the protocols and the bylaws and all this kind of shit, what they require of me, what they expect of me. If you see something, say something. We are no retaliatory. That's a fucking lie. Fucking lie. A goddamn lie. They don't want your black ass saying shit. But Karen. And then them white nurses will talk to you any kind of way and expect you to. Okay. They had an issue with my attitude. Perceived attitude. And all I did was came to work, sat in that goddamn corner, mind my business, shuffled my motherfucking tarot cards, watch movies like every fucking body else, and they said they fear I was going to do something spiritual to them. And the one that wrote that had a whole fucking skeleton key around her neck. Wears a skeleton key. Who wears a skeleton key? I know what a fucking skeleton key is. You had a tech, Hispanic tech, with a fucking devil tattoo on her forearm, then a Baphomet on top of the devil, or vice versa. They was on the same arm. I wouldn't let nobody. I thought she went to St. Pete High School because that's what the devil looked like. It looked just like the St. Pete High School here in St. Petersburg, Florida mascot. And a lot of them white nurses come from Sarasota across that bridge, the Skyway. A lot of the black nurses that are not from St. Pete come from across that bridge. A lot of the nurses, some nurses come from Tampa. At least that Ukrainian nurse come from Tampa. See, they gatekeep. Labor and delivery, again, is a predominantly white woman space ran unit. Look at ICU. They don't want black nurses in there. Especially one that's going to follow directions and tell on their ass, report shit. Would you want to hire me if I was going to make sure that you go by your standards, what you said, your policies and procedures? So as I was saying, the lady ended up having an emergency C-section. She had to wait 10 minutes for the doctor to arrive. Then she turns around and said the patient said that I told her I've been a nurse 16 years. She just a midwife. That don't even fucking make sense for me to say some shit like that. What I did say was, hey, I'm just a nurse. She the midwife. But I'm just letting you know, when I got report, they say you were 9 centimeters. This is what the offgoing nurse told me. The offgoing Hispanic nurse told me. Then the midwife standing at the bedside while this lady is on hands and knees. She got her ass in the air. That's part of what we do with intrauterine resuscitation. We put moms on hands and knees to try to relieve cord compression to increase blood flow through the placenta to the baby. And while she got her ass in the air, the two abuelas sitting in the room, standing, looking all disheveled. The father is pacing back and forth in the hallway. He don't speak no English. The two grandmothers don't speak no English. So the patient is interpreting Spanish to them. English, what we're saying to the family. I get accused of changing the aura in the room, being disruptive, doing this and doing that. And so I said, ma'am, you have to be 10 centimeters to push. And once you get to 10 centimeters, the baby still have to tolerate the second phase of labor, which is active pushing. So if she don't tolerate this, you're going to end up with a C-section anyway. So I recommend you just ask for one. I said, because your baby girl is talking. I wrote all this in my complaint, what I had to say. I'm advocating for you. I'm letting you know. That's why I'm not a big, for home births. Because when shit go wrong, it goes so fast and you got 2 lives in your hands. So, yeah, home birth's fine. If you're healthy. And even healthy women, shit happen. So she was like, looking at me and see other races of people, because of the stigma, the biases that they have placed on black women, black people, they think they better than us. Who the fuck this nigga talking to? Who the fuck she thinks she is? She thinks she know more than the white lady? That's what I was getting. So I called the black tech. I said, hey, can you go to the OR and get me a jumpsuit? Because I was going to put on the bunny suit with the dad wearing the OR. Do you not believe the offgoing nurse put that in, So when she came in the room, this is what she wrote. When I came back in the room, she had a bunny suit on. Just like I was being ready. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it, not have it. I just told the girl the truth. Hey, do you want your baby on the short bus or do you want her on the long bus? Well, lo and behold, I was right the whole time. And then the patient that I end up acquiring after the change, because the midwife fired me, the same Hispanic charge nurse writes me up in the morning, because about 6 o'clock-ish, 5 o'clock-ish, my patient who was tolacking a trial of labor after cesarean, trying to VBAC, vaginal birth after cesarean, we were pushing, we got to the pushing phase. And after she finished pushing, she was screaming to the top of her fucking lung. And she said these words: "It feels like somebody's taking a fencing knife to me." So she's a residence patient. I called the resident and I documented. When the resident came in the room, I went to my monitor and I hit that button. I say, "Look, you know she a tolac. And listen to the words she's saying. Excruciating pain. It feel like somebody's taking a fencing knife to me." We push. After we finished pushing, she screamed to the top of her lungs. So you automatically think uterine rupture. That's why a lot of providers don't like doing TOLACs, trial of labor after cesarean, because they have to be in the hospital. They can't be 2 minutes away. They have to be readily available. And if they leave, they have to talk to another provider and let them know, say, "Hey, Joe, I'm going up the street to Wawa's. Can you keep an eye on Miss Keaton for me?" That's the only way. And it needs to be documented. Because if that provider is not there to start that fucking C-section, when them heart tones go down, that's his ass and that's your ass and that's your baby ass. So that's one of the main reasons why the C-section, repeat C-section rate is high. It's because the doctors don't want to be in the hospitals. And you at risk for uterine rupture. Well, change of shift, we end up taking her back. No, she was not, ruptured, but better safe than fucking sorry. I had another incident with another doctor there. And we were pushing with her patient, and her patient was saying the same thing. She was not even a TOLAC at all. This was a normal fucking goddamn delivery, normal pregnancy, no other issues. Lady never had a cut on her uterus, nothing. So while we're pushing, and she too was screaming, had an epidural, both ladies was epiduralized, and the doctor was like, "You know what? I think we better do a C-section, because I don't know why you're having this pain. I'm going to make sure anesthesia get you comfortable, but I just don't feel comfortable." There was no active bleeding, because usually uterine rupture, the heart tones go down. It was none of that. It was, or you have blood clots, active bright red bleeding. None of that. Mama vital signs was fine. We get this young lady in the OR room. Baby, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Now, this particular doctor, white lady, when I tell you, I thought she had the nastiest, rudest demeanor. But she just ain't played the fucking radio. She was very serious. And she was like this with all her patients, with the white ones and black ones. When she pushing, she'll just be sitting there like nonchalant. The look on her face be like, "You don't fucking hurry up. Shit." Just come to find out, that's just how she is. No nonsense. One day, I'm going to get back to the story. One day we're in the OR, we had an emergency, this particular doctor. And it was one of the younger nurses, newer nurses, under 5 years experience. That doctor was, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" So I'm looking like, That's one thing I do not like, is providers using profanity at me. Because if I can't cuss at you, if I can't fuss at you, I expect you to respect me the same way. But I understand, because there were some competent fucking nurses there. Incompetent, I'm saying. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we do the C-section. The baby come out. Everybody's fine. So when the doctor take the uterus out, the cavity, because some doctors leave the uterus in, they'll use like the Alexis to, it's a little thing they keep the everything pushed back. And but she took the uterus out, and as she was, drying it off, getting ready to sew it up, she flipped it over. So this the back of the uterus. It's a fucking hole back there. This doctor looked at me and she said, now mind you, we got masks on in the OR. All we see is eyes. MEKO, call Dr. So-and-so now. I got on my phone, Dr. Bozo the Clown. Dr. Righteous said, she needs you in here now. I said exactly how she said it. And Dr. Bozo, he's a fucking bozo for real. An Asian doctor. He's a fucking bozo. And I tell you, these black women around here think he the fucking greatest, and he's not. But see, they see him in the office like this here. But baby, I know this doctor. He has a nasty disposition. I wouldn't want him to deliver my fucking dog. That's how nasty he is. But when I seen him take care of somebody that looked like him, oh, he was all sniggles and motherfucking giggles. And he was. The lady, back to Dr. Righteous, the lady somehow had done blew a hole in the back of her fucking uterus. I looked at Dr. Righteous and I said, Doc, that was a close fucking call. She said, yeah. So last Saturday, I went and took a gun shooting class. Signed up to get my concealed weapons license permit. I see this big white lady walking up late for the class. And I'm like, damn, she look familiar. Damn, she big. It's the fucking doctor. MEKO! Dr. Righteous! When I tell you, I've never seen this lady smile, never seen, but I guess she wasn't at work. We did the class from 9:30. It was till 5, but we got out early. He asked, who want to shoot first? And so we went and shot first. And this lady fist fucking bumped me. Now, we worked at the same hospital where I just got fired from last year. Worked at the same hospital where everybody wrote me up 26 fucking times. And me knowing white folks, especially white women, she knew that shit wasn't true. We never discussed it. It was just that, that unspoken word. When I would call Dr. Righteous for a delivery, see, I'm the type of nurse. I check my patient. I do active management. I function like a midwife, although I'm not a midwife. I go up on my Pitocin like I'm supposed to. I get my patients delivered. In my whole 18 years, I have never, ever had a deposition. Knock on wood. I have only had one maternal loss, and it wasn't even my fucking patient. But because the nurse who I was giving a 30-minute break to, and she was an old white lady in Georgia. That lady never came back and got that damn patient back, and she was the first one to leave. And I was working day shift then at this hospital. White women will hang your ass out to fucking dry. And a black docile nurse will fucking help them. So this is why women that look like me die. Nobody don't want to state facts. And no, I'm not being overly dramatic. And no, I'm not being racist, because black people cannot be racist. Racism is a systemic issue. Healthcare, black women dying. Economics, law, education. So you can't tell me, and this other thing, I can't think of them right now, that white women ain't the problem. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to stay on this soapbox, and I'm going to continue to speak my truth. I'm going to continue to tell the truth. I'm going to continue to expose racist people in labor and delivery. You want to blackball me? Hey, you just giving me more power to speak my truth. Because if it was you being a black woman and you was mistreated or you end up fucking dying, then you would have a problem. Your family should have a problem. My goal is to prevent black women from going to the funeral home before it's time. What's wrong with that? Why can't we have a long, loving, lasting life? Why can't we be prosperous? Why? What is wrong with us having a right to live? What is wrong with us having a family? Why we got to be ghetto? This is what the white nurses said. Oh, I had a black woman. I was getting a report. I'm talking about this hospital here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm getting a report from this young white nurse. So we had a black girl in there. She's some kind of social media something around here. I go in the room, girlfriend got her chandelier earrings on. She remind me of Marlo Hampton from Atlanta Housewives. Me and Marlo Hampton graduated from St. Petersburg High School together. I got my yearbook right over there. Both of us in that bitch. We took classes together. We had an English class together. I sat in front, she sat in the back of me. Marlo Hampton from Atlanta Housewives. So this young lady reminded me of Marlo with them damn chandelier fucking earrings on. She had her, no, I don't think she had her own labor gown on. But she delivered like how the women delivered back in the day. Her husband stayed home. She didn't want nobody there while she was in labor. She delivered back to the report. The girl called her bougie. You think I can go get a report? Oh, this white trash. This trash, trailer park trash. You think I could have said that in report? Oh, she's ghetto. It smells like weed in there. Hell, white men smoke weed. Hispanic men smoke weed. But anytime a black person come in the hospital, I done seen this from California, way out in Fresno. The Hispanic, oh, he smells like weed. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Y'all try to make everything dealing with black people, y'all want to take it from 0 to a fucking billion. When actually, it's you the fucking problem. So when you see a nurse like me coming, I intimidate you because you know you ain't gonna motherfucking scare me with your goddamn tears. Because just like mine don't work, shit, yours don't work on me. And not saying I don't have empathy or sympathy for anybody. I do. Because I'm human. But I'm black first. You should have seen the residents delivering that bougie fucking patient. Every time you turn around in the nurse's station. Oh, so ghetto, 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 ghetto. So one night I told them bitches, I said, Google ghetto. And when you Google it, click image. And they did it. So I said, now Google trailer park trash. And they did it. I say, so now I'm getting offended every time I turn on. Everything is so ghetto. See, because when you do that, you allow a white nurse to do some bullshit like this here in the hospital. Happy Valentine's Day. Love y'all. I walk around that whole fucking unit. From postpartum to labor and delivery to the break room to the anesthesia on-call room, all of that shit. This was the only one, and look who made it. This is the nurse that called me a fucking crude. Why the fuck you ain't make your own birthing table? Her. So you know what I did? When I got my letter right to sue, the only attorney that I thought was going to take it, he said, if they were so bad, why didn't you submit their shit to the board? It never dawned on me. Guess what I fucking did? all this, I done spent about $300 in certified return receipt mail. And I only received so far 1, 2, 3. What's this? 4. One of them was for Walmart, so that don't count. I wrote their ass too because I heard Walmart was having life insurance on their people, the Bali Kali shit. I wrote their ass too. So this one right here. But Agency of Healthcare Administration 1, Corporate Compliance Department of that hospital 2. It's been a year. It's been a whole fucking year. Department of Health Consumer Services Unit 3, and American Civil Liberties Union in New York 4. And I got a whole bunch more to go. I'm not playing with these motherfuckers. I reported them nurses to the fucking Board of Nursing. I sure did. I got a box right here that I done took my whole 392-page EEOC file and broke it down to what I needed to do. Right here. This is all this shit over here. They're trying to ruin my fucking career. A lady wrote, let me see, is this what I want to read? Here we go. Like I said, I put all the complaints in order by the date. So this was Night Shift Keaton. That's my name. MEKO Keaton. I go by Nurse Miss MEKO, MEEKO. And then I spell my name MEKO. But anyway, this is what the attorneys hid in their exhibit. I didn't get this until after I filed for the FOIA file. This is what the black assistant manager wrote to the black director about another black nurse. Now, this black assistant manager husband, I ain't say boyfriend, her husband was a scrub tech down there. And I wasn't there during the time, but when I came out, they were still talking about how he was fucking and sucking the nurses and the techs down there. That's the reason why they got cameras in the OR. That's the reason why they can't have the doors closed to where the scrub techs sit at. This is what she said. This is the assistant manager now. I don't know. I know this much. I know this might seem weird. I know that Tamiko has this thing where she doesn't want her patients to wear panties in the labor room and has made uncomfortable comments in front of the patients during shift report. This is October the 3rd, 2023. She wrote this at 10:20 in the morning to the director. Now, this is the white nurse who said this. This is what she wrote to the assistant manager on September the 28th, Thursday, September the 28th, 2023 at 15:51, at 3:51. Subject, night shift. Shift changed on September 27, 1900, upon Tamiko entering the room where my patient and I are. She immediately states, "Why are there panties in my room? Why are there panties on in my room?" Before saying hello or introducing herself to the patient, she took a step back and shook her head like it was such a terrible thing that the patient felt uncomfortable with them on. She had just moved over from AP and was rushed to get her epidural. Also, patient wearing underwear is not a concern to me at all, so I left them on throughout the epidural. Did you hear that? This dumb broad left panties on a patient during a epidural procedure. The most dangerous thing a white nurse could do. And I'm going to tell you why. Mind you, the lady water was broken. She was ruptured. That's why she was coming over from AP, because she was P-pronged. Premature rupture of membranes. Now, you saw she just, in this document, I rushed to get her an epidural. Also, patient wearing underwear is not a concern to me at all, so I left them on throughout the epidural. When a patient is getting a labor epidural, now a bra, the underwire, in the event of emergency, we have to take you to that OR. The cautery that we use to burn off blood vessels, bleeding vessels, or what a doctor use, you can, that wire could be a problem, can pose a problem. But the reason why I don't put patients in panties while they're in labor or their water is broken is because if you have a cord prolapse, you got them some fucking panties and shorts. That damn doctor coming there and he can't get to that vagina, who is he gonna get mad at? So as a prudent nurse, I wouldn't wear panties in labor. You didn't have them on when you was making the fucking baby. Why do you need them on now? Maybe you pulled your panties to the side. I don't know. But she went to fill out the whiteboard and said to me, "You're going to take those off before you leave." And I damn sure did. Because I wasn't taking report. And because I could tell the patient felt awkward too, I just pushed it off and told the patient, "Okay, I'm going to take these off of you now so we can do your catheter in a few minutes, just to make it feel less uncomfortable in the room." So this is the rebuttal I'm working on now. That lady could have had a cord prolapse, meaning that umbilical cord fell out through the vagina, and that presenting part, you have to push your hand up in there and make sure that head or whatever's on that cord is relieved. 2 minutes without blood flow through that placenta, that cord, dead baby or damaged baby. What if she had a hot epidural where she had to be rushed to the OR to be delivered immediately? We had to splash and dash. What if she had some kind of medical emergency? Do you know they would have had that nurse ass? I understand moms feeling uncomfortable with having panties on, not having panties on, and this and that, but I'm looking at it from a safety standpoint. This bitch made it seem like I was a fucking pervert. So after the young lady baby died in July 13, 2023, that's when all the fictitious lies write-up started. It started right after I submitted this. I got my first write-up August the 16th, 2023. I was rebutting that shit. In my first write-up, my black director told me that I was being complicit. I say when you give a report to a nurse, and this is for the nurses who gonna find and listen to this video, don't you ever in your whole black nursing life go on break and do not take the time to put somebody's name in that fucking computer. If you're doing a delivery and you say, call the charge nurse and say, ambiguity, I'm pushing in labor room 8. Can you watch my patient in 1? Take the fucking time. Even if you pull up that fetal heart tracing, Put her name in that fucking chart, because I'm going to tell you what happened at this hospital. Same thing happened. I got it documented. I get a report to this young Hispanic nurse while I'm in another room pushing. Like your boy said, I can't be in two places at one time. Well, this lady ended up having a fucking shoulder dystocia, postpartum fucking hemorrhage, didn't speak no English, and the nurse that had her that was Hispanic don't speak Spanish either. Neither do her sister. The baby clavicle was broken, because that's one of the manipulations we do to get the baby out. They'll break the clavicle to make it, able to birth. If not, you got to go for emergency C-section. You only got fucking 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, we headed to the OR. Right? So, I take my time while my patient is, resting. We went on another contraction. I'll pull up my other patient chart, and I put report. No, Epic has a button where you put handoff in there. I go to that button. Handoff given to Susie Q. At the exact time. I'm not with that. Oh, about this and that. No. At 12:47, handoff given to Susie fucking Q. Do you know? And that lady asked for a C-section. And she was, she had just got here from Mexico. Didn't speak no English. And this was a big fucking baby. A big baby. Anyway. Guess who ain't get called to court? The nurse come to the nurses. Oh, MEKO, you just missed the whole shit show. And another thing, them white fucking nurses and them non-black nurses, they love fucking damn drama. And they think, oh, it's a shit show, a whole shit. The shit they be going through, I just be sitting there looking. Like, you remember Color Purple, how Silly B was waiting for Mr. I'm just going to sit back and see what the walls look like. They said that I didn't like to help in medical emergencies. That's the furthest from the truth. But one thing I will do is CYL, cover my motherfucking license. I'm going to protect my license. And if you got a nurse that is fucking goddamn, what you want to call it? I'm going to say a risky, that's be doing some bullshit. Don't take your ass into her emergencies. Because when they ask who was in that fucking room, they dragging your ass in. And do you want me to tell on you? Because I'm going to tell exactly what happened. I'm going to do that. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've made mistakes. And I owned up to my mistakes. Because again, black women and black babies die. You think if white women and white babies, y'all little cute little white babies, dying at 3 to 4 times to die, man, we'd had all kind of fucking laws. All kind of legislations passed. They tried to kill us with crack cocaine. They tried to kill us with HIV/AIDS. They trying to kill us with diabetes. Now you trying to kill us. You trying to J. Marion Sims us? The father of gynecology? You trying to Planned Parenthood us in our fucking face and don't expect us to say a fucking thing? Then you're going to blackball the black nurses? You're going to make us look crazy? And we telling the God honest truth? I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Now I can't get a job. I got to go way to another fucking goddamn state to work. I got to leave the comfort of my own fucking home because a bitch done lied on me because I told the fucking truth. Are you fucking kidding me? Every time I wrote a complaint, said something, that shit came to pass. Every time I had a fucking goddamn spider sense tingling, that shit happened. Just how I said it was going to happen. And the girl, see, when you have a C-section, you stretched out like Jesus on the cross. You just like Christ on the cross. You got your legs taped to the table, strapped down to the table. You got your arms secured to the bed. Only thing you can do is this. And probably, now you can't even wiggle your toes because we done, either if you had an epidural, you done got that damn heavy dent spinal, more medicine, so you can't move your legs. All you can do is do this and throw up. Had to wait 10 minutes in that position for the doctor. That's why he was mad. That's why he was mad. And the father, I don't know what the hell he was saying to her in Spanish, but he was going off on her ass. So they was blaming me. No, when I came to work that night, I saw him in the hallway. Because, see, I would go in, get my Vocera, head to the break room, and wait for huddle, get my assignment, and go to work. I came to work on time. I always, most of the time, highly likely for me to clock in at 6:38 on the dot. I had an alarm. And when it was time for me to go, I went home. I didn't try to steal overtime. I didn't try to do none of that shit. I get there on time, I leave on time. I made sure I crossed my T's and dotted my I's. So the bullshit, the write-ups that they did, re-fucking-diculous. If you got all these things against me, why you wait to, again, when I get written up October the 26th, 2023, you should have been told me about this here. That lets you know they was trying to do a paper trail on me. And the paper trail looked like fucking goddamn, it was stupid. But because Nurse Miss MEKO was putting it down on their ass. I'm going to tell you what this white nurse wrote. I was on orientation. And she wrote, they were mad because, see, they were upset because when they needed me to come up, or I only had 4 weeks of orientation. I'm a seasoned nurse, so I don't need to be oriented like everybody else. And then I noticed the girl who started my orientation off, it's like the blind leading the damn teacher. So as a nurse, I like to run my fetal heart tracing. I like to run my paper. I've been doing that since day one. And although we don't keep the actual paper, it's archived. But I like for it to run. So when I hit my mark button, I can do quick notes. So when I go back and chart, and if something happened at 12:54, although I don't get to chart it till 1:15 because I'm in there doing interventions, I will go to the computer and chart where the tack mark is. At 12:54, nurse at bedside, change patient position, went up on the pit, blah, 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 blah. But on the back end, it'll show that it was charted at 1:15. 1,300 hours or 0113, 1,500 hours. So I always tried to make sure that if I needed something to jog my memory, boop. So we had this black patient in antepartum who was a brittle diabetic, hyperemesis, in and out, and she was olive oil thin. And we got this nurse, Miss Butthole. She always worked antepartum. We had 2 nurses. They were white women. Always. Well, always. Did I say always? Always work antepartum. Unless there were no patients over there and they had to come to the labor side. Okay. While on orientation, I was called to a meeting with blank, and blank, who was on a conference call for this meeting because the Haitian nurse was the charge nurse that night. This meeting was about blank complaining about a situation in antepartum between her and me. One night, we had a patient with elevated blood sugars, and I received an order to obtain stat labs for this patient. I was looking for a light green top to draw the stat lab order because every other hospital um, for the past 16 years that I have worked at uses light green tubes. But here it's the gold top. I had no idea. Did not. And it's the God honest truth. Any other chem comp, we will use the light green top. When we do preeclamptic labs, we use the light green top. We want to do platelets and stuff, we use the purple top. While standing in the nurse's station, blank RN said to me, "What part of stat labs you don't understand?" This is what this white nurse said to me. What part of stat labs you don't understand? Now, I'm a seasoned fucking nurse. As I mentioned earlier, no, in a condescending voice, and I replied, "Who are you talking to like that?" I literally did this. Who you think you talking to like that? Like, on my mama grave. My mama been dead 37 years. I said that. Who you think you talking to? See, they can talk to black nurses any kind of way. But you think if I would have said, "What part of stat labs you don't understand?" That motherfucker would have been Medea on that motherfucking goddamn keyboard. And she was. She sent the email. So, as I mentioned earlier, she sent the email that night. Blank, the Haitian nurse, was in charge, and they wanted me to take an assignment. But I declined because I was on orientation, and I did not want to be accountable for anything bad happening while I'm working as a regular staff nurse to be counted in the numbers. They didn't like that. If your ass is on orientation, on any fucking job, as a nurse, especially as a black nurse, do not take your ass off of that fucking orientation, because if something happened, your ass in trouble, and that's your fucking license. Trust me. Do it if you want to, trying to be nice. They're going to throw your ass up under the bus. You're going to be the first one under there. So, while I am working as a regular staff nurse to be counted in the numbers, when a nurse is on orientation, they are not counted in the staffing numbers. At least they should not be. I remember Haitian nurse saying to me, "I thought you was an experienced nurse." Like trying to be, bitch, experienced enough to know how to come off this motherfucking orientation. You know how your mama say, "Don't bring it, take your ass off that porch." You got that mama that when she tell you to do something, that's what the fuck you do. If not, you're going to fuck around and find out the hard way. And I replied, "Yes, I am an experienced nurse and experienced enough to know not to take my own assignment while on orientation." And this same nurse took her ass to sleep. Oh, here we go. While on orientation back in October 2022, blank RN went in a patient's room antepartum at 21:30, 9:30 at night. Now I'm on orientation, and did not get up until 5 o'clock in the morning. 0500. I wrote an email to my director, and then a meeting was called, and blank told blank she was having a bad migraine. Bitch, why you ain't go to the ER? That bitch was coming to work drunk, allegedly. She looked like she was drunk. You know a drunk bitch when you see one. If her head was hurting that badly, why did she not inform the charge nurse and go to the ER? Since blank said, "How can we fix the issue on the unit if no one is willing to give names?" I even told blank, this is the black director, that one day while on orientation, blank Z, this is she not white. I don't know if she Cuban, but she Hispanic, Latina, was given blank and me report on a black African-American patient in antepartum. I guess she was having an issue with keeping the 20 some weeks on the monitor, and she said to Miss Karen, that's not her real name though, your baby sucked dick. I wrote an email to blank and nothing was done or said to the Latina. Now, I'm reporting this shit to the black director. You have nurses sleeping on the doctor's sofa and in the nurses station anywhere from 1 to 5 hours on night shift, and the house supervisor, blank, has even caught some of the nursing staff sleeping at the desk on the unit. See, that's why they ain't like me. Bitch, if you think you finna fuck with, and it ain't, it ain't like I go to work looking for shit. I'm telling you, I be minding my own fucking black business. Now, see what they thought and what they didn't like, I was gonna come to work and tell them all my motherfucking business. All I know, work and friends don't mix. Especially black nurses. I've been around this block too many times with y'all white women, and I know y'all fucking deadly. See, the white man may wear the KKK robe, but that white woman, remember, she sold them and she still keep them clean right now today. They just took off the robes and put on nursing badges that say RN and MD and CRNAs, and anesthesiologists, and certified nurse midwives, That's what they did. So we in the meeting. When the patient blood sugar went up, she became a 1-to-1. We even had to start her on an insulin drip. When you put patients on insulin drips in labor and delivery, that's a 1-to-1. Because every hour you got to do a blood sugar and you got to titrate that insulin up or fucking down or off. And they only had blank RN working and I was on orientation. They wanted me to use me as a regular staff. They did not have another nurse to come over to split up the assignment. That's why the Haitian nurse, I thought you was an experienced nurse. Yeah, experienced enough to know not to come off this motherfucking orientation. I was precepting blank one night, and this was a white young nurse who had mixed kids, and they didn't like her. Them white nurses and them man, I'm telling you, them was some vicious bitches at this hospital. She is no longer an employee. Blank RN was the charge nurse that night. We were short-staffed and or very busy. Blank had given this orientee a C-section to circulate by herself in the OR. When a new employee is on orientation, they are not to be counted in the staff numbers, or should they be working by themselves. Anything could happen in the OR. Although Blank was a well-rounded nurse, she should not have been in that operating room by herself. That little white girl was good. I wish I could find her ass. Yeah, put her in the OR by herself. Took her from me and put her in the OR. See, that's what they do in labor and delivery. That's what those white nurses do in labor and delivery. They do shit like that. And see, when you allow them to play with your fucking license, play with your fucking livelihood, that's what they do to you. But since they couldn't do it to me, they didn't like me. Or like that song, them don't like me and we don't like them. Them are me enemy, we are them not friend. They didn't like me. And actually, I'm a fun person. Actually, I am. I love to joke. I love to have fun. I feel like this, if I'm going to be on the bitch job 3 days a week, 12 hours, I might as well have fucking fun. But I know I ain't got no fucking friends, especially at that fucking job. And especially them white nurses and them non-black nurses. And I damn sure don't have, when I tell you what Malcolm X said, they will hire one of you to kill one of you. They did it to him. So this is why this was my very first fucking write-up. I was giving them a fucking history lesson. At 1942, I took this picture of labor and delivery on August 19, 2023. In the medication room, throwing used epidural bags in the regular trash can is a common practice in this unit. I have mentioned this to several charge nurses, blank, former employee Cam, and blank. As nurses, we are fully aware of the dangers of narcotics not being disposed of properly. This trash is taken out by environmental services. There is 400 micrograms of fentanyl per 200 mLs in this bags. Can you imagine housekeeping smuggling this out of the hospital and selling it on the streets of Southside St. Petersburg, Florida? I am a native of this community, and this practice that blank nurses at blank is potentially putting my community in danger. We already have a massive drug epidemic in our community, and these drugs get into the streets of Southside St. Petersburg can cause a lot of intravenous drug overdoses, and not to mention more massive incarceration. This furthers dismantling our Black community and families. They didn't like me. As you can see, a major HIPAA violation is also happening here. Does this patient know her personal information is being thrown in the regular trash? Can the person who put this epidural bag in the regular trash did not even try to black out her name. However, I'm being accused by my director of defensive practices while nursing. We have nurses not charting the patient. We have nurses not charting the patients after you have handed off. We have nurses not charting on patients after you have handed off the patient to them. You go for delivery, you could be there for 4 hours. All right, pushing. Then you have that 2-hour recovery. Back in the day, we used to do an hour recovery. So you have that 2-hour recovery. That first hour, after the first hour, long as the patient stable, you're supposed to go back and get your other patient. The whole time, they ain't charted a fuck thing. That's why it would behoove y'all to put put that nurse name in that chart. So if she ain't charted for 4 fucking hours, hey, that's her ass, not me. I'm not going to backtrack. We had one older lady there. They fired her ass. And she was Jamaican. The Black director fired her. And when I tell you them white nurses on day shift was fucking with that goddamn older lady, the lady mama was sick. She was always late for work though. And so was the Hispanic Latina. This sister, this older lady, and she was so sweet, soft-spoken. She was pushing in another room. Now shift clock out time is 7:15, 19:15 at 7:15 p.m. After that, you start getting into, overtime. I kid you not. Why this lady's still there at 9 o'clock at night charting on a patient that she gave handoff to? I tried to tell her, girl, if you don't go back and say where you put that in, although it was late, handoff given to Susie Q, and take your ass home. They was dogging that Jamaican lady out. Dogging her out on day shift. Giving her the worst fucking assignments. Writing her up. And that Black director was eating it up. The Black director was referring to herself as the fucking puppet master. Okay. This is what the former assistant director wrote about me. And the potential lawyer that I was going to have for EEOC, he was like, who wrote that shit? He would have been fun to work with. We was doing an intake and his mama called. He said, hold on, my mama calling. Your mama calling? White boy. Yeah, I got to answer this call. Give me a second, Miss Key. My mama calling. Hey, when mama call, your ass better answer. So this is what she wrote on my behalf. Now we were in orientation together. I didn't know she was gonna be our damn assistant manager director, to the assistant. I mean, the assistant manager to the director. So now you got all these black women in charge. That made them white nurses down there sicker than a bitch. When I tell you, I ain't never seen this hospital so fucking black in this department. That department is ran by fucking wolves. I have even the damn white scrub tech who was there when I was there in 2006 said, "Oh, blankety blank is hiring too many African Americans." I wrote that shit up with witnesses and all. EEOC did not give me any fucking justice. To whom it may concern, my name is blank, and I work with Tamiko Keaton as her assistant nurse operations manager. Tamiko and I started at blank on the same day. I worked days as the assistant manager, and Tamiko was scheduled to work nights. Within the first several months of Tamiko starting, the staff started to complain about her. The first complaint was that she was being difficult to train. The day charge nurse named that the educator came to me. No, the day charge nurse named and the educator came to me and stated that the staff that was training her did not want to train her because Tamiko would disagree and tell them that the practices were wrong. Now, I've been doing this 16 years. You just got out the motherfucking goddamn bed. You just started doing this. I'm a fucking travel nurse. I've been traveling straight for 7 years, from 2014 all the way up until December 2019. And took a year off, thank God for COVID, moved to Jamaica and came back. Started back working as a travel nurse in 2021. After working here a few days and weeks, the practice at blank were not correct and not based on state guidelines. I even tried to advise the upper leadership of the incorrect practices. This is a black lady. After complaints, the staff came to me along with the same day charge nurse. That's the nurse whose husband was fucking and sucking everybody there. Is that Tamiko distanced herself from the staff and sits in the corner and not talk to them. Y'all hear this shit? And I did. I don't have nothing to talk about. I wasn't no standoffish. I wasn't no stush. But here's the thing. As a black woman working in a unit full of white people and them Latinas and one Latino and them Asians, that's a fucking atomic bomb. You thought they blew up Hiroshima. A white woman ain't got shit on her goddamn atomic bomb ain't got shit on a crying, telling ass, straight to email white woman, and you don't. So because I had them been around the block, it didn't take me 40 years to learn that the most dangerous thing behind an RN badge in labor and delivery is that fucking white woman. And I'ma die on that hill. If black nurses really tell the truth, they may not say it as straight as I say it, but it's the fucking truth. And I'm going to say again, you got some black nurses that'll co-sign that shit and they will help them hang your ass. So here we go. What's wrong with me sitting in the corner? Well, I never knew that coming to do your job, someone had to talk to you. There were no other there were other nurses that sat in the corner and did not speak with the staff, but they had a problem with Tamiko because the day charge nurse did not like Tamiko. I wish she would have said names, but I know who she's talking about. The same lady talking about, this might seem weird about these panties. Her slewfoot ass. The day charge nurse would talk about Tamiko negatively with other staff, and the staff felt they could be disrespectful to Tamiko. Tamiko is a very strong-minded and they did not like that about her. That do sound kind of negative. No. I just know who I am and whose I am, and I don't have to kiss your ass. I'm not gay, so I don't suck ass and I don't eat ass. I know how to take care of my patient. I'm a good nurse and a fucking competent one. The director was also very negative towards her and the staff. The director once told me that you must use people like puppets to get what you want out of them. The director encouraged the rude behavior from the staff. The staff was even rude to me, and they were. They were. The director was able to get away with the bad behavior because she told me that the CNO, which was the white woman, still is, would always have her back regardless of what the staff said. Now, this black director, short ass, she in Miami, she a CNO now. So the one who wrote that complaint, she's now the nurse manager of the unit. I want to know how long. You think they're finna have a black nurse running shit there? Although we tend to do shit better. That's just facts. But I found this to be true because when the director received an IV of fluids by the day nurse charge, now you know we're not supposed to be doing IVs on each other. Nothing was done about it. The staff reported it and it was swept under the rug. Now see, them white nurses reported the black director about starting an IV on her, and nothing was done about it. Even the white nurses didn't like her black ass. They couldn't stand her ass. Nobody liked the black director. Tamiko was a good labor and delivery nurse, and they treated her terrible. They even had the doctors writing her up for stupid things that the providers knew was not right. The providers could not come into a delivery. The providers would not come into delivery the babies in time. They had residents leading C-sections without the attendants being present. Oh, yes. I had a cord prolapse, and we were in room 12. Thank God, because we were very close to the OR. I'm on the table. They got the blue sheet over me. I'm between this woman's legs trying to present. And I'm like, I don't feel a pulse. Cut. No, I can't. The gay doctor. I can't. With the attendants. Not. I said, look, if you don't cut, we're going to have a dead baby. That man cut that damn lady. In an emergency, we don't take our time and open your ass up. We fillet you like a fish. As soon as we hit you, we at the uterus. And that's why I think that baby in Georgia got decapitated. That doctor ain't pulled that baby head off. She cut that baby head with that damn 10 blade in the OR in that emergency C-section. So anyway, then here come the attendant, Johnny come fucking lately. That's true. It's in writing. And this why they got this director, right? This assistant manager, she fucking left and took the fucking charge nurse, the black charge nurse. We started together, this lady. But the other young lady came a couple weeks after us. Them women left me. And I should have left too. But now I'm home. Anyway. Anytime residents are delivering babies, whether they're first year or fourth year, the attendant have to be there because they're learning. That's not the case at this hospital here in St. Pete. Blank had nurses acting like providers by putting orders in and discharging the patients without the provider even coming to see the patients. This is why I did not work triage. Did I stutter? This is why I did not work triage there. Because I would have been in trouble because I wouldn't have done this. This is what these hospitals are doing. That CEO in Indiana who fired that doctor allegedly and that nurse, kudos to him. He did the right thing, and I hope they report their ass to the board. That lady was there for 6 hours and never seen a doctor. And here I am reading a document that I submitted. No, this she wrote this later. You know, people scared to be your witness. That's what the man at EO, he said, you'll be surprised when we get in contact with these people, they don't even say shit. There were so many violations, and when good nurses challenged them, they would be labeled as problem nurse. Now, she could have wrote this shit. Man, let me tell you something. This shit would have read way different had I wrote it. But I get what she's saying. This lady got a master's. I only have my bachelor's. That attorney was like, what the fuck is this? She didn't even sign it. I can't use that shit. This could be merely hearsay, which is true. But I got the email where it came from her. I still got all my emails. I left blank because I was scared for my nursing license. I had never seen so many nurses and providers in disposition than I've seen at blank. Every week someone was in, deposition. Man, I'm finna get out of here. Warm regards, blank, blank. When I graduated nursing school, I vowed to do no harm. And I still stand on that. I will not harm my patients, whether they're white, black, non-Hispanic black, black Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, other. I vow to treat all my patients the same. Yes, they get on my blood clot nerves. That's just been part of human. But I vow to do no harm. I took a sacred vow to report shit. You know when you're in the airport and they say, if you see a suspicious package, let somebody know. You see a suspicious package, you don't let nobody know, and your ass blowed up too. Not on my motherfucking watch. I'm tired of seeing black women dying. I'm tired of seeing our babies around here with fucking ADHD or some kind of brain injury. I met a 7-year-old in Walmart. And I'm like, dang, he big, but he looked like something wrong with him. And in my spirit, I knew. I said, that look like a birth injury. You know, because you know that she did say that she feared I may do something spiritual to them. Y'all like this video. Y'all share this video, please. So I end up talking to his mom, and just lo and behold, she delivered at the hospital I used to work at here 7 years ago. So I asked her, I said, how long? When did you find out he was, when he was 3. That's about the right age, 3 to 4 years old. I say, did you have him vaginally or C-section? I had him vaginally, and they used that thing they pulled them out, the vacuum. Why that baby still got a mark on his head? Like you could tell wherever that vacuum, it's like an indentation. Now, I can't say that that's what happened, but that's her first and only child. How big was he? 8 pounds. Right? She was 17 at the time. So I told her, I said, ma'am, that's a birth injury. I said, you still got time to sue. You got 18 years to go back and sue a hospital. He's 7. I gave her my number. Her mom put it in my phone, and they never called me. Black women, stop being scared. Stop being scared, afraid to protect your life and protect your babies. I hear a lot of people be talking about, I die for mine. Shitting me. I kill for mine. I tell the truth for mine. And I damn sure lie to if I have to. I'm going to end on this quote. Actually, 2 quotes. One quote is from Barbara Sizemore. She was a superintendent or something in Chicago, I believe. She got a lot of videos on YouTube. Barbara Sizemore, an ancestor now, a sister. She said, win if you can, lose if you have to, but always cheat. And then I'm going to end with this poem by my late great uncle Ricky Charles Tyrone McKinney. Ricky was his nickname. He said, the truth will set you free. A lie will set you under a shaded tree. Make you think you have it made, and your life will only be delayed. Y'all make sure y'all like and share this video.